We had a phenomenal retail number, and a lot of that can be attributed to the stimulus. So on the positive side, we're seeing that the stimulus package is re-engaging the economy. Shoppers are coming back. The retail numbers blew out any estimates. So I find that a very good positive. So, but there's also this flip side to that is, can we keep it up? Can we keep up that kind of spending? Because that's a big number. And then, what happens next month and the month thereafter? So that's one thing we're going to stay on top of. The real growth of economy comes from people getting back to work. So that's why we're always focused more on the employment and unemployment numbers, which I think are more, should I say, a better barometer of what's going on in this country. Without a super strong answer at this point, I think that Jay Powell has made his position going to do anything at this point. However, I don't think they would have a choice if the economy starts heating up because of all this positive numbers and inflation. If the interest rates start going up, they're going to have no choice, but they're going to have to do something. However, I'm on his side where I don't see that yet. I don't really see that happening till next year, maybe third, fourth quarter, if at all. For next year, it may flow into 2023. As far as cryptocurrency is concerned, Coinbase opened, and it opened to a premium. And I think that part of that is that they went directly through the NASDAQ and they didn't use investment banking to raise money. So when you have something like that occurring, you've just created one of the largest exchanges. It's bigger than the New York Stock Exchange now. So you created one of the largest exchanges. I think that the price is still undervalued at this point because this is a new technology. Maybe there aren't solid valuations in place as of yet, but I akin this to when technology started rising. If you look back 20 years plus years ago, I remember when I was first starting in the business, how do you value a Dell? How do you value? It was a lot easier to value those companies than the cryptocurrency. And therein, I believe, lies the challenge with investors. Can I, as an investor, trust my instinct to get into something like this and not get over my head in it? So that's one of the challenges that goes forward. But I think that, as we've discussed before, this is a solid, I want to have a piece of this to get into and be a part of it, because it's it is part of the future, for lack of a better word. So I think that's why it's such a good idea to get into this, albeit maybe not with, maybe you want to do 5-10% of your portfolio or less. If you're risk adverse, this is not for the timid. So just go in with your eyes open and knowing that there is risk here. I don't think the opportunity is over. I think that it is going to be somewhat diminished by new technologies that are going to start emerging. But I do believe that cloud-based computing will always have its space and a need. And that's why it's not going anywhere at this point. And if anything, it may benefit to adjusting to the cryptocurrency and how they could benefit from that. They may install new technologies, you hear of cloud mining, you hear of blockchain, and the like. So I believe it is a necessary part of the crypto world and will remain so for quite some time, unless some other technology comes into play. And at this point, I haven't seen it. Are they reducing because they're going into more crypto, or they're just reducing gold per se? If they're just starting to reduce their exposure to gold, it may have been that they had taken some bets on gold when the uncertainty of the pandemic began. And now that they're reducing their positions to protect themselves long term. Central banks will not go into anything without an exit plan. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. It just simply means that they want to protect whether it be the European economy or the U.S. economy, the Chinese economy. These banks are there to protect themselves. I mean, if you look at Japan, let's just take Japan as an example for argument's sake. Japan has made billions of dollars, going into different types of investments. They have a fluidity there, and it's a double-edged sword. You could get caught, in the risk, but they've done that on a grand scale. So that's just one example of what could happen if you bet the right way. And maybe they're just looking to reduce their exposure and protect themselves on the long side.